Real life exposed, baby.
There it is.
This is Smokey, and it's who else?
Hutch. My name's been changed.
Interesting.
That's right.
So
y'all know the old show Starsky and Hutch.
They don't know nothing about Starsky and Hutch.
Nah, not some of the old schools will know about it, but
Just like they don't know nothing about Hill Street Blues, Mighty Mouse, Tom and Jerry, or Dukes of Hazzards,
all that. Yeah.
or Voltron.
See?
They don't know nothing about that.
So no, they don't know nothing about that. But we had to have a little laughter before we get deep into this nonsense that we're about to talk about. But it needs to be talked about. And yeah, we're just gonna have another podcast discussion, whatever you want to call it. But this stuff is getting out of hand. Go ahead, Smokey, take it away, man.
Oh, so this is interesting. Now, it's nothing new, but it seemed to be happening more often now. Women of authority, like teachers, educators, having sex with their students. And I think this is a growing problem in society because we're traditionally hoping that women are the teachers and going to protect our students, and now we're finding out more and more every day that they are the predators that we need to watch out for our children. And it's not getting any better, and I don't know what's driving the force behind these women going after young boys.
I have no clue, man.
Yeah, we traditionally know why rape, the R word happens, because of power and control, and maybe that's why they're doing it. Their lives are out of control, and they seek the power. They have power and authority over these young men, and maybe that's what they're seeking, and maybe that's helping them get by. But it's a mess. I don't know what to say. And there was one lady. I mean, when we first started talking about this topic, there was a lady. What was her name? Mary Kay or something on this. What was her name? It was back in the 90s, if you guys remember.
Let's take a look at it. You were just looking at it.
Yeah, I was just looking at it because I remembered her because Mary Kay. Back in the 90s, if you old heads were still around, she was the teacher that hooked up with that 13-year-old, had a baby by him, got locked up, spent 6 months in jail for rape. Now, somebody getting 6 months in jail and rape, that's almost unheard of. Gets out, violated her parole within 1 year, hooks up back with this young man, gets pregnant a second time, goes to jail for 7 years, and then marries him.
So, where can people look this up at? Matter of fact, you have the link. So I can put the link.
Yes,
I'll put it.
They literally
find it.
They stayed married for 20 years. He literally was the one that divorced her. He had 34. He divorced her. It's crazy. How did this happen? I know it was 90s. It was a different time, but even then, I believe this woman was already married and had kids. She was already a married mother of 4. What drove her to this young boy? And drove her to the point where she risked going to jail, which she did, and then she got locked up again because she wouldn't stay away from him.
Yeah, that's some nonsense right there.
Please make that. Yes, that doesn't make any sense to me. She lost her career, probably her family. I'm pretty sure her husband left her after that. For a 13-year-old.
Well, see, so today we just going to discuss a few cases and just try to put our heads together as to why this happens and why is it starting to happen a whole lot more in this century. Because think about it, to be honest, every time you would hear the word pedophile, you always think about the male, right? It's always something, the guy downloading, children underage, that kind of thing. You never think about the woman, but it's going on, and right in the schools where all the kids are the targets, right there.
Yes, the place where you think your child is safe is no longer somewhere to be safe. The
Yeah.
hunt is
I mean,
on.
even during
Yeah.
COVID, when they had the virtual schools going on, that's probably the safest bet right now.
Yeah, it's
You know, you can't trust anybody in these days anyway, but you should be able to feel like you have a level of trust sending your child to school where
yes,
they can learn with people that should have had background checks. I would assume they do. They get social service checks, but I mean, you can't catch them all, but still, it's crazy.
yeah. It,
So,
and oh, but you know the most disturbing one was that teacher in Tennessee.
mm, the recent one,
It was
right?
it's fairly recent, but they had a 7 year, they literally a 7 month investigation. They came down with, they found, at the end of that investigation, they found 21 victims.
21.
21, those are ones they found. They think it's far more than that. They think it's 3 or 4 times more than that. 21 victims. She got indicted back in January, I believe. But that was with 23 charges.
Now we have a video on it.
Yes, go ahead. Roll that beautiful footage, won't you?
Won't I?
More trouble tonight for a former Tennessee teacher accused of sexual misconduct with children. Tonight, Fox 13 has learned Covington police say a grand jury indicted Alyssa McCommon on 23 counts involving 5 alleged victims. Investigators say there could be at least 4 times as many victims. Fox 13's Lakia Scott tells us that these very disturbing charges are a part of a 23-count indictment.
After a 7-month investigation, we're learning there could be more victims. 38-year-old Alyssa McCommon is charged with multiple sexual misconduct offenses against minors. Covington police say they identified 21 potential victims. The victims ranged between 12 and 17 years old. A grand jury returned a 23-count indictment just this week. Prosecutors presented evidence from 5 victims. They say this evidence is what led to the 23 counts. Back in September, police arrested McCommon on a single charge of child rape after Tipton County Schools said a parent came forward with allegations of inappropriate conduct. Police say she used video games to befriend former students, sent inappropriate photos, and made sexual requests. In October, a judge revoked the former 4th grade teacher's bond after prosecutors say she made phone calls and texts to the alleged victim. Now comes this new information about the potential of more victims.
It's just real mind-blowing. These are innocent kids. Like, why was your mind even processed like that?
I expect better of our educators.
It was bad what she did.
Now, I did hear back from the Tipton County School District, who had this to say in part regarding this investigation. Our thoughts and prayers continue to be with all of those affected. We acknowledge and empathize with the unimaginable difficulties of all potential victims. Meanwhile, this is still an ongoing investigation. We're also learning that McCommon is due in court Monday to go before a judge. Reporting in Covington, Lakia Scott, Fox 13 News.
Speechless.
That's a shame.
23 indictments. Those the ones they know about. So,
Yeah. Which means there were a couple of them that were multiple.
yes, and so there could be dozens more that may come out later. That's the largest number I've ever heard from a single female. But what doesn't make sense to me is why they're doing it. I mean, in her case, I think she was, well, in most cases, a lot of them are even married and got families, and then just start dating the 13-year-olds.
Don't
Now,
like it at all. But
It'll be interesting what they do with these cases if they actually prosecute them or they thumb them down or they end up getting 6 months, because I want to follow up on some of these. I would love to know where they go, because
yeah, we could probably do that. And if anybody wants us to post it here, they can just put it in the comments if they would like for us to talk about that. But
It's
I don't get why they want to have relationships with these kids like that.
the only thing that comes to mind is control and power. That's the only thing that can logically makes any sense. Is that they have control.
Yeah.
Oh, this world is coming to an end.
Yeah, I mean, someone that thinks like that, yeah, obviously they definitely have a problem. And it might be some, I don't know, self-esteem issues. I have no clue, but I can't wrap my head around why somebody would want to have a relationship with a child. That's just bad. And then too, I wonder if some of the children are being threatened because nobody's really telling. You know, because I think sometimes the children are probably told certain things and then they get scared and
Well,
they don't want to see anything.
predators have been known to threaten their victims, especially young victims, that I'll hurt your mommy if you tell, I'll hurt your daddy if you tell, I'll come get you at night if you tell. And being young and naive and not really knowing how things work, you put fear in them and they won't tell anybody. And so that's why, you know, most sexual, you know, assaults of those of that nature go unregistered. Most people, we really don't know how many women that happens to, or men, because most of them are not even claimed. They don't even report them. We just know about the ones that are reported.
Yeah, and if you get any that do report, it's kind of rare because a lot of times if something happens to someone, if they don't tell immediately, they'll hold it for years. But you get some that just can't take it and they end up saying something.
And then you have to worry about how people are going to look, what they're going to see. And men are less likely to report it because they will probably in most cases be laughed out. And I know back in the days, if you told the police, hey, this girl won't leave me alone, they'll laugh at you like, you a big guy, you can't stop that girl from calling you. But if the other way happened, they would lock the dude up, Dilly. No question. He like this. So it's really different how they treat the sexes. They don't treat them equally. And even in 2024, I guarantee if we look at these cases later on, they're going to get a fraction of the sentences what a man would normally get.
Yep.
I can almost guarantee
a man to the ground on that stuff.
Yes, most of these men.
Talking 23?
Yes, that would be a life sentence for him. They will put him.
Yeah, so honestly, I think we do need to follow it because now I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Because you know, if it was like you said, a man doing that,
it'd be done.
They definitely be going downhill. So I don't know. It just seems like in some instances, some certain type cases, men hit harder than women.
And the outcry would be much louder. If a man had did that to 23 kids, you would hear it on every news channel you could find. It would be top news. This guy did this to 23 kids. But since they were boys, you might find it on one or two channels. It's not all that important. Oh, she didn't really do any harm to them. They were boys. It's no big deal. What do you guys think? I think it's just as damaging. May not be as much as a man doing it to a little girl, but I think it's just as damaging to them doing it to them boys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those kids gonna need therapy and everything else, like constant counseling. And the bad thing is when stuff happens like that to someone when they're young, when they get older, they repeat the same stuff.
Exactly. The victims become the predators.
They do. It's just how
and that's sad
because it's a psychological thing.
Yes, it's an endless cycle.
You know, it's like they don't mean to. It's just because they've been damaged. And they feel like they just have to do it. You know, and it happens a lot. Yeah,
the human psyche is funny, dude. Because I know of some girls that had guys that were very abusive to them, and they couldn't keep a guy because if the guy wasn't abusive to them, they were so used to guys beating them or being abusive to them. If a guy wasn't abusive to them, they didn't know how to act. It's almost like when you see a girl, that's a nice guy, but he's too nice. What?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
It's like it's a conditioning, and it's sad that now these kids may not live to their full potential because now they've been abused by some woman who thought it was her duty to do that to them.
Mhm.
It's sickening,
Yeah, it is.
and
I wish it was something that could be done different in schools, and then you got daycares. It's funny. You never really see a male working in daycare. And I
no,
think if they want to work in there, most parents are uncomfortable with that because it seems like that's not a place that a man should work.
and men are generally looked down at as predators, which we are, but not because we're predators don't necessarily mean we go after kids. A lot of men don't like kids. I mean, we like kids, and we like, hey, I like our kids. We go play sports, but a lot of men don't look at kids that way. It's usually the ones that have those type of whatever you want to call
Yeah,
them.
bad behaviors.
Yes, I'm not.
It's a lot out there. You just never know who you deal
You
with.
don't.
And I
it's-
always felt safer, like with women in daycares, women in schools. I feel like they're not gonna really do anything.
Because when you think of a woman, you think of what? Nurturing,
Yeah, mothers,
Caregivers,
yeah,
educators.
look out for the kids, but
yeah. But
yeah,
this throws a whole monkey wrench into you. Like, so now my kid's not safe with nobody.
then you have a generational change. So I mean, older people could have done it too, but it's just so much that has changed now with how people are in this newer generation that's around.
And
Not all of them, because there's a lot of ones in the newer generation that's mature, but
I
the
don't
difference
think
is now all of the access to like internet, social media and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't get it with these teachers. We do have another example.
oh the cutie pie. I mean, she's actually a fairly attractive young woman, and she actually she was a teacher in Missouri. She actually got caught. She got charged in Missouri, took off and went to Texas. And they caught her in Texas, and I think they're still in the process of extraditing her back to Missouri. And she's not a bad looking girl, so you would look at her and you're like, why? You got a picture of her?
Yeah, I got the news.
I think we do have a picture, but she is not. She was a math teacher, and the kid was 16 years old.
Was 16 or 17?
Having sex with a 16-year-old student.
Okay. Well, I got the clip.
Gosh.
I
Yeah.
have the clip.
Yeah, roll that beautiful roll that beautiful. Why can't I
You
talk?
can't even talk right now.
I know my brain is scrambled just thinking about why women would do this. Roll that beautiful film.
Oh, I got you.
Teacher accused of having a relationship with a student has been arrested in Texas near San Antonio. Haley Clifton Carmack worked at Lakeway High School in Pulaski County. She's now charged with having sex with a student. In early December, a school resource officer reported a witness came forward saying the teacher and a 16-year-old student were in a relationship. Investigators then went to the high school and took Clifton Carmack's phone. The superintendent for the district told KY3 she hadn't been at the school since December and did not expect her to return. Another man, Mark Creighton, is also charged in this case because detectives say he knew about this relationship and did not report it.
And she's not a bad looking woman. So looks has nothing to do with it.
No.
It's
Oh,
the scary
not
thing
definitely
about
on
it.
the woman's side.
The
I don't
scary
know
thing
about the
about it.
guys, but yeah.
I don't think this is going to change. I think it's going to get worse with the dating and how things are changing and how access to kids and I know these social media platforms saying we're going to do age verification, but how much age verification can you really do? You assuming the person's going to tell you the truth. All they got to do is type it in. They can make up any birthday. Okay, I was born 1952. How do you verify it? You don't have to send an ID. You don't go get fingerprinted. You can't verify it. They can make up any account they want to. So the verification process is a failure. They can preach that all day long. And predators, be it women or men, social media is a #1 hotspot. That's why I always tell people, if you have a PC at home, have it in a public area. Never have your kids with a PC in their bedroom because you have no idea what they're doing. Have it in the public. Same thing with phones. It's nighttime. Huh, honey? It's time to hand the phone over. Take that phone, put it in there, and they get up in the morning, they go to school, they give the phone back to them because you don't know who they're talking to at night.
And there's on the video games too.
Yeah, even the video games.
Check and see who they're talking to.
Yes, because stalkers.
I think one of the cases, that's how the woman was getting in touch with some of the victims because she was playing video games with them.
Yes, she was enticing them with video games. Oh, come on, baby, let's go play some video. That's crazy. And boys, what they love, video games. And they reeled them right in there. They didn't even know they were getting hooked.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Ronald, about taking the devices and keeping up with what they're doing.
I noticed.
I mean, because if you stay close on them with these devices, you may be able to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised. And there are tools, and I'm going to say that there are tools you can put on phones that their kids won't know is on there. And these devices, this program literally hide. It's not even in. They can't even know. They won't even know it's on the phone. And it'll monitor their texts. It's almost like a piece of spyware. Everything they do on that phone gets sent right to you. You know who they talking to, what messages go to them. You have complete access to the phone, so you know who they and that you can get. I'm gonna let you guys go look for that. But it's a piece of spyware that you can get, and there's a company that does it. You put it on, the kids will never know they have it, and you know exactly what they're doing, because there are too many predators out here that looking at your kids for lunch, and if you don't protect them, who will protect them?
Exactly. So that's a good way to go out, Smokey.
Yeah. So somebody got to protect them now because we have nobody else to watch for.
Yeah. So hopefully, some people got some awareness out of this. If you didn't know it, check into all of this stuff. Matter of fact, we'll put the links to all those video clips and stuff in this video in the description box. And just try to do what you can to protect your kid. And we'll be back again with something else, but this is something serious to look at. We just bringing awareness to people and talking about it to make sure you know about it.
Yes. Until next time, we're out.
We're out.